Hi everyone, welcome to our BowlsHub how-to videos where we walk you through some of the features of the system. We'll be guided in these by Colin Williams, who is the BowlsHub and Digital Manager here at Bowls New Zealand.
And moving on to the entry tab, we can see a few details here. The key details involves enable self-registration. So this means that a user of BowlsHub can log in and enter the competition that you've set up themselves. Per club nomination is a way for someone to enter on behalf of a club. So if I was entering a club interclub team or an interclub team on behalf of my club, I'd be able to assign it to my club. So if I was entering at a point chev, it would create a point chev entry as opposed to user entry, which is the default. If I want to have a wait list and cap my entries at a certain number, I can do so here. If I just want 32, that'll put a cap on the entries I can take. So only 32 entries will be accepted for this competition. If I then want to have a wait list, I can click this, and any entries received after this will go to a wait list for the competition. So it's a good way to manage extra entries and withdrawals if that's something your competition requires. Entries can be publicly listed. This allows on the results portal of your competition for people to see who's actually entered and their team names. So that can be all of their players and what club they're entered out of. This can be turned on or off, so if you don't want it to be visible, just turn it off. I'm going to leave it on, and we'll move on to self-registration. Self-registration, this is just when entries open and close. So you can go in and select what dates you want. So I'm going to select today, the 7th of August, and I'm going to have them close tomorrow. Allow registrants to set their team name. This just allows whoever's entering to define what their team name is going to be. So useful for things like club, interclub, where they name their team, so Point Chevalier Pirates or something like that. You can allow that person to define what that team name is going to be. And moving on to restrictions. Restrict entry to club. So if I only wanted certain clubs to enter, I could go in here and define what clubs can enter my competition. Useful if you're creating like a club competition and you only want people of your club or maybe a partner club to enter. Moving down to club groups. So if I only wanted to have a competition where people of a certain centre can enter, I can go in and click Bowls Auckland or South Canterbury if I want. So it's another way to restrict it by region if you want. But up to you. If you leave these blank, then everyone will be able to essentially enter your event. So putting these to centres or centre regions can be beneficial to make sure you don't get people accidentally entering your competition. Restrictions around financial members can be toggled on or off, and you can set an age limit if you want as well. So if you only wanted people between 1 and 20 or under 20, then you can define that here. And you can also restrict male, female as well. I'm just going to leave it as no restriction, as it'll be an open singles event. Moving down to the advanced tab, require players to be members. This just means that every entry I take, the entrant has to have a BowlsHub ID number. So in a singles competition, all 32 players are going to have an ID number that is linked to their entry. Allowing members to enter more than once in most cases can be left off because you don't want people to enter your competition more than once. Entries must identify at least how many players. If I have a singles competition, then I just want to identify one, but if I have a pairs competition, I may want this to identify 2 players, and in combination with this button up here requiring players to be members, that would ensure that on entry I have to give 2 players ID numbers, so myself and my partner's BowlsHub ID numbers are required for entering here. Because it's a singles entry, singles competition, I'm going to change this to 1. Entries should capture here. This is just the information you're going to ask on an entry form. You can change this however you want. So I'm going to require an email address so I can contact my player. Phone number I'm not so fussed about. Date of birth, because I've set a restriction on age, is going to be required. And the player's gender I'm not going to require because it's an open event. Nominated club I'm going to leave as show, and position is not important in a singles event, but in a pairs event I would require this as well. And then moving on, so team format down here, by default this will just list your players' first name and last name, and there'll be some more patterns that can be used by going down here, and there'll be an attachment with this video that you can go in and copy and paste some other team formats depending on what competitions you would require down here as well. So once I'm happy with all of these settings, click save and continue, and I will move on to my next tab.